And joining us right now is the general manager and president of baseball operations of the Washington Nationals. It's our buddy Mike Rizzo. He's on the Mattress Warehouse hotline. Good morning, Mike.
Clap him up.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Hello, Mike.
Where
Good
is
morning,
Mike
everybody.
Rizzo in the world today?
Mike Rizzo is about 2 blocks from your studio at his home, and we drove back from West Palm Beach yesterday.
Wow.
As you know, the governor of Florida closed all non-essential businesses, and that we were deemed a non-essential business, and they put a drive-through testing station at the ballpark, at 15 ballpark area, West Palm. So everything's closed up. So my wife and I got in the car. We drove 13 hours straight here, and made it in 13 hours from West Palm Beach to my
Pretty
house
good
in
time.
DC. So
13 hours is excellent.
Now,
Did you drive the whole way?
I did drive the whole way. I went back to my scouting days where, I used to drive 13 hours in the drop of a hat, usually eating a sandwich and listening to you guys on the radio.
So if the governor did not shut it down for the essential businesses, would you have stayed down there?
We would have, because we had 13. We have 13 of our players down there, and they were working out. Now we segregated them into small group workouts, into 4-player workouts, due to the CDC recommendations. But if they would have continued to do that, Davey and I would have stayed there the whole time. But since it closed down, no one can go into the facility. So we figured that there's some business we can do up here, and try and prepare for this very unique circumstance of a season.
Yeah, well, we don't want to harp too much on what's going on now. Everybody is kind of aware of the situation. We just sit here and we cross our fingers. But we want to kind of, pay tribute to what you guys did last year. This would be the home opener, as you know. You've been asked this a million times, but just when you think of last year, is there one memory in particular that jumps out at you, Mike?
It's always the last out, the last strike. When we struck out Brantley and Huddy threw the slider to Brantley. But there were so many things along the way that were as important, if not more important, than that final. The finality is the finality. That's how you win it. But I go back to. I get asked this question a lot. I go back to. They ask. People ask, when did you think that there was something special about this season? And
Right.
I really think it goes back to that Mets game when we came back in the ninth with 7 runs. I said to my staff at the time and to my family who was at the game, I was like, "There's something's going on here. This doesn't happen against those type of relievers and that type of game when it was a throwaway game at the end there in the ninth that we could have went in the tank and just played for the next day." And these guys said, "No, we think we could win this one." And then when we got some momentum, that was to me the time where we really thought we could get this thing going, and something crazy special was going on.
Mike, how tough was it for you to switch from celebrating winning the World Series to, well, I've got to do this all again. I have to get the prep ready. I've got to get the work in to do it again in 2020. How tough was that for you?
It's not tough. I mean, it beats the alternative. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was not tough at all. It was, it's part of our yearly cycle and that type of thing. We had work to do actually 2 days after we won the World Series. There's mileposts that you have to do contractually, 2 days after the season ends. So we got right back to work, but it did not stop us from having a ball and celebrating this thing like it should have been celebrated.
I'll give it up to you, Mike. We would have you on every Monday, and you guys were struggling there in the first 6-8 weeks.
He was always positive, wasn't he?
And
Jason?
you kept telling us, hey, our leadoff hitter's out, our 2-hitter, our 3-hitter, our 5-hitter, our 6. You had so many injuries. You had injuries in the bullpen. You just kept saying, hey, when we get back to full strength, this will be a different team. And sure enough, you were right, bro.
Well, you put these things together. I appreciate that, but this is a team effort, is a we think. So we take great pride in putting together these teams that we think are capable of winning championships. We thought we did that in 19, and when the rash of injuries and the cluster of injuries that we had at the same time, was something that I've never gone through before, and you can't point fingers. You can't make excuses because nobody cares about the excuses. You got a 40-man roster for a reason. We used 48 players or so last year to win this World Series, and every one of them contributed in their own way, and it was something special. I do believe that Dave Martinez did not get nearly the credit he deserved for guiding that team to win the World Series. This guy was fifth in the Manager of the Year voting. Come on,
that's crazy.
What game? What league were they watching?
I can't remember who won it.
If he wasn't the best manager in the year of the year of anybody, I haven't been around very long then. So Stitt from the Cardinals won it.
Oh, okay.
Good manager, I get it. I get it, but he didn't have the year Davey Martinez had. He wasn't the manager Davey was, for about 4.5 months and then through the playoffs.
Right. I know he got swept by Davey. I didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Mike, when did you guys realize, sort of as an organization, or did you always know in the back of your mind that we're just going to use these starters, on their off days, and they're going to get their work in as relievers come crunch time as we get down the final weeks here and into the postseason? This is just what we're going to have to do. When did you always sort of have that in your back pocket, or did it just kind of dawn on you as just a matter of necessity late?
No, it was a plan going forward. We constructed that. First of all, we weren't. We weren't rocket scientists. This has happened before in the playoffs, and once you get into the playoffs, and when those series really contract and become really very, very small series, it's all hands on deck. I remember on our show, one of you guys asked me the questions, and I said rolls. I said rolls be damned, and there's no rolls coming into this thing. The roll is, what pitcher can get these 3 outs in this inning against these 3 hitters, and that's your role. Your role is to close out the inning that Davey gives you the ball, and this doesn't happen without the players' buy-in, and we brought the starting pitchers in, and you're talking about experienced, successful starting pitchers, like Corbin and Strasburg and Scherzer and even Sanchez was prepared to throw in relief, and these guys were all in, and they were something. They bought into these things, and I remember Game 6 of the World Series when Max was supposed to pitch Game 7, and he was coming off the neck thing that he got scratched from Game 5, and this guy runs out to the bullpen in case he needed to close out Stras's game in Game 6, prepared to close out Game 6 and to start Game 7. So these guys were all in. We had a good plan with Paul Menhart and Davey and myself, and that was our plan going into it from about July 1st on. We were in that kind of mode when we were preparing these starting pitchers to pitch out of the bullpen.
I know you've been asked this a million times, and I'm sure we asked you last year, but explain the mentality in the World Series when you score a total of 3 runs at home in those 3 losses, games 3, 4, 5. But down there in Houston, you guys were a totally different team, and you pounded the ball. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, I mean, those are some things that are difficult to quantify. You know what I mean? It's I think you're only as good as that night's starting pitcher, and they had some quality starters. I remember the one kid that we had never seen before. He pitched a hell of a game for them, and.
Yeah.
They were running out Greinke and Cole and Verlander, and that's not too shabby. And they get paid a lot of money too to get you out, and they did for a couple of games. But I thought that series was going 7 from the start. When we were up 2-0, I remember telling my wife that I think this is going 7. This team is too good to be swept or to win it in 5 games, and we, that was our mindset, that we just wanted to win the last game of the season and celebrate after the last out.
Yeah, Urquidy was that starter in Game 4. That's the kid you had never seen before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
Wow. Well.
And then you had the parade, and that was surreal. We had the Caps parade, obviously, and then you have the Nats. I mean, it was just unbelievable. The parade was probably the most emotional time that I had throughout this whole process. When we turned that corner, we were the last bus. It was Davey, myself, and Zim and our families. We had the World Series championship trophy and the National League championship trophy
on our bus, and a bunch of beverages, and it was magical when we turned that corner and we saw the million people in red jerseys just losing their minds. It was one of the most emotional times that I had had. So it was a remarkable event, that the parade, and the fan base was just unreal. And that leads me to the Nationals philanthropies subject that we want to talk about today. And this is my hometown, fellas. You know that I've been here 15 years now, and I live right by the ballpark, so I'm part of this neighborhood and I'm part of this town. And you guys see me at Caps games and Wizards games, and I'm at Maryland games, and it's this is my adopted home. So I'm all about the philanthropies, and we need to kickstart this charitable event going right now. So what I'm going to recommend, and what I'm going to donate is I'm going to match from this time to the end of your show today. I'm going to match any charitable donations that come into you guys. I'm going to match it.
That's awesome.
That deserves
So
a
we need
clap.
to get this thing going.
We're going to make you pay, Mike.
Please do. Please make me pay, because it goes to the Nationals philanthropies, and it's one of my favorite. The academy and all the things that we do here with the Nationals is something that is remarkable, and we're certainly we're certainly members of this community, and it's going to go to a great cause. So yeah, make me pay.
And you can follow
and people out there. Let's go. Let's get it going.
Can follow Nats for Good on Twitter. Is Nationals Philanthropy. So it's at Nats for Good. And to donate, you go to nationals.com/fund. And as Mike knows, all the money goes directly to nonprofits in the area. The fund started with $100,000, and they're trying to grow it. Of course, you'd rather be at opening day at Nats Park, but so far the donations have been pretty good this morning. But now with that incentive, Mike, I think it's going to be fantastic.
Thank you, buddy.
Awesome.
You are the best.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
Stay safe, man.
And
too.
I think Jux Nation knows how to mobilize.
Yes.
We've seen the surge of support behind Sup Dogs, and now Mike Rizzo has basically said from now until the end of the show he will match any donations. So go to nationals.com/fund to donate. And people have really been generous so far. And I think we're obviously going to smash the goal number of $10,670. We're going to just crush that.
Riz has some cash in the bank. He does, but make him write a fat check.
Exactly.
Where are we at, Drabby? Can you give us an update, like going into the 9 o'clock hour? Where were we? Do you have that?
I'll have that when we come back. I actually don't have the 9 o'clock.
We didn't get
check
the
the
hour
tote
3.
board.
We didn't get the hour 3 update
Yeah,
yet.
we didn't get what we raised from 8 to 9.
But we do know Andrew stepped up and was the first $1,000 donation. Look, every $500 donation gets a studio tour, meet and greet, chance to watch a 106.7 The Fan show live from the studio. Anybody who donates $106 today wins a Nationals rally towel. The first 200 also win a 106.7 The Fan and Nationals World Series Edition radio lanyard. So, and their hourly prizes, I believe this hour is a Sean Doolittle signed ball. So, again, it's for Nationals Philanthropies. They are the official charity of the Washington Nationals. And to donate, you go now to nationals.com/fund.